This is, we have already completed our syllabus. Congratulations to you and me also. This is revision of the chapter, that is alternative centers of power. What do you mean by alternative? Alternative means one particular thing is there. What is the substitute? That is called substitute of anything is called alternative. And that is alternative centers of power. Basically, after the disintegration of USSR, Soviet संघ जिसको आप कहते हो, only one party and only one power is there. That was, you call it US, United States of America. And it's behaving like a corporal of the world. Corporal means sipahi, सेना का सिपाही जो होता है, whatever officer, whosoever. He is behaving like that. And to counter that supremacy, what to do? हम अमेरिका के सुप्रीमेसी को काउंटर करने के लिए हम क्या करें? Like, to counter that supremacy, one China is there. One, America is a capitalist country. China is a communist country. Right, okay, you leave China. Other powers are there. We call it EU, European Union. Right? And then ASEAN, Association of Southeast Asian Nations. These are all our alternative centers of power. देखिए, suppose any person, if the person is very powerful and there is no any other substitute, rest sure that the person will be or the country will be corrupt. He wants to be much more powerful. He wants to dominate the world in economy and the military also. Now you see this. I'm telling you because I have done already the chapter. We can discuss now also. Now you can think about the Ukraine and Russia. अब तो सोवियत संघ टूट गया है. रशिया ने एक नई कंट्री है Vladimir Putin and all. Right. So what is they are doing? Ukraine is a small country. Russia is a big country if you compare with the Ukraine. Ukraine is very less powerful. Russia is very powerful. Then what happened? Ukraine went into the lap of America, and he wants to be the member of NATO, North Atlantic Treaty Organization. Now the people means the country says that the world is again near the Third World War. You know what happened in Second World War? Still you remember Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Now what will happen if the Third World War started? So what to do, what to counter? To counter now Russia also. तो कोई भी जो कंट्री बहुत ज्यादा पावरफुल हो जाती है उसको काउंटर करना बहुत जरूरी है. एंड दैट इज कॉल्ड हाउ मेनी कंट्री अदर कंट्रीज आर देयर that is we call it alternative centers of power. And in these alternative centers of power we are talking about USA. After the end of bipolar structure of the world politics in early 1990s, it became clear that alternative centers of political and economic power could limit America's dominance. Alternative centers of power could limit America's dominance. तो वर्ल्ड के ऊपर सबसे बड़ा खतरा क्या है? अमेरिका के डोमिनेंस को खत्म करना. Which is, I'm not saying it's very, not saying impossible, but it's tough. To diminish, to minus America's dominance is not very easy. Right. So, thus in Europe, the European Union, and in Asia, the Association of Southeast Asian Nations have emerged as forces to reckon with. Reckon. Reckon means किसी के ऊपर भरोसा करना. Right. To another, or you can say you can have another strong opinion with comparison to USA. while evolving regional solution to their historical enmities. Historical enmities मतलब historical मतलब ऐतिहासिक दुश्मनी, ऐतिहासिक दुश्मनी. For example, historical enemy of India is Pakistan. अब जब भी कभी आंख मूंदते हो हम कोई पूछे ना कि सबसे बड़ा दुश्मन कौन है, पाकिस्तान या चाइना, इंडिया का हिस्टोरिकल एनिमी. So while evolving regional solution to their historical enmities and weakness, both the EU, European Union, and ASEAN have developed alternative institutions. They have developed alternative institutions. Right. In here, this alternative institution and conventions that build a more peaceful and cooperative regional order and have transformed the countries in the region into the prosperous economies. You know, when India was independent, to lot of countries, basically two major countries, America and USSR, Soviet Sun, they want to woo India. Woo का मतलब WOO. वो मतलब अपनी ओर आकर्षित करना कि हम आपको ये दे देंगे, आप हमारे उसमें आ जाओ, कम्युनिटी में आ जाओ या हमारे ग्रुप को ज्वाइन कर लो. We started गुट निरपेक्ष राज्य. Right. So that is also an alternative center of power. And that ASEAN have developed alternative institution and convention that build a more peaceful and cooperative regional order and have transformed the countries in the region into prosperous economy. The economic rise of China has made a dramatic impact on the world. Now, you know, China is a very powerful country. China is a very having a sound economy. When China is itself a alternative centers of power. You see, in which countries China has not made its entry. कहीं ऐसी कोई country है इस वर्ल्ड में, चाहे आप श्रीलंका को ले लो, चाहे आप अफ्रीका को ले लो, चाहे आप अमेरिका को ले लो, चाहे आप एशिया को ले लो. China wants to spread its market. Maybe China's, that its product is not very much, reliable, but still its economy is very sound. China's economy. In this chapter, we take a look at some of these emerging alternative center of power and assess their possible in future. इनमें अब हम क्या करेंगे कि बेसिकली कुछ alternative centers of power को हम पढ़ेंगे. Then in which I will want to tell you another aspect, India-China relation, Japan. Okay. Now first is our European Union. How European Union emerged as another source of economic power, alternative power, European Union. As the Second World War came to an end, many of European leaders grappled with the question of Europe. Should Europe be allowed to revert to its old rivalry or to be reconstructed on the principles and institutions that would contribute to positive conception of international relations? Look, my friends, the whole of India is depending on international relations. Whole of the world is depending on the international relations. The Second World War shattered many of the assumptions and structures on which European states had based their relation. In 1945, the European state confronted the ruin of the economies and the destruction of the assumptions and structures on which European has been found. 1945 में सेकेंड वर्ल्ड वॉर खत्म हो चुका था 1939 to 1945, in which America came up as a world power when it dropped its atomic bomb on Hiroshima Nagasaki in 1945, 6th of August and 9th of August. The world accepted that there is no comparison between other countries and the USA. Right. But slowly and steadily, you know, European Union started its own currency also. That is, we call it euro. हम इसको यूरो कहते हैं, है ना? The euro has its own value in European market. What is euro? Let me tell you. Let me tell you one thing very clearly. You may be how much strong you are militarily, but if you are not strong economically, then it seems that you are still weak. The same position is with Russia. It's acceptable that Russian army is a strong army with comparison with America also. America is also very strong. But if you compare the economy, American economy is much better than Russia's economy. And Russia is worried about that. Let me tell you one thing. Russia is worried about. I'm telling you Russia only because now Russia is a country. Earlier, it was a part of USSR, Soviet Sangh. Understood? Now, China's economy. Again, you say when you say that China is emerging as a world power, what you will see is economy. So here also, and economy, and another very important point is that is international relations. हमारे दूसरे देशों के साथ कैसे संबंध हैं? How we have got the relationship with other countries. For example, India is surrounded by its enemies. You see, don't have a very good relationship with China. Obviously, China. झड़प भी हो चुके 1962 and all. Right. Then Pakistan is very good friend of us. You know better how much good friend. Right. Then we have got the Nepal. नेपाल ने तो एक बार आंखें दिखानी भी शुरू कर दी थी, बीच में भी हुआ था. Then we have got the Myanmar, Aung San Suu Kyi. तख्ता पलट हो चुका है. Aung San Suu Kyi is behind the bar. Military junta is there. Then Bangladesh, not very good, not very bad. So pick up any country, but still we are developing a good relation because India is a huge country. If we occupy another country, then the foreign relation dignitaries will say that India wants to show its power on the small countries. We always help to smaller countries so that our relation should be developed. Our relation should develop. A cordial relation we should have. Right. So European integration after 1945 was added by Cold War. अब ये Cold War क्या है? I told you earlier that Cold War is a type of psychological war. जब देखना, if you are poor in maths, if you are poor in science, sometimes you are poor in social studies and other subjects, आपके अंदर कोल्ड वॉर शुरू हो जाता है. अब क्या होगा ड्यूरिंग द एग्जामिनेशन? You fight with yourself. That is called Cold War. ठंडी लड़ाई हिंदी में कहते हैं. And that Cold War is much more dangerous with the if you compare with the hot war. There's always Cold War between India and China, India and Pakistan. America and Russia, America, earlier America or USSR. This is called Cold War. So during the Cold War, America extended massive financial help for reviving Europe's economy under the we call it Marshall Plan. यूरोप की इकोनॉमी 1945 के बाद काफी खस्ता हो गई थी. During 1945 also, because Second World War is going on, was there at that time. So that economy was shattered. And your economy was shattered, and Eastern economy and German was during the First World War. Germany was also a shattered country. अब तो पहले तो ईस्ट जर्मनी भी हो गया था, वेस्ट जर्मनी हो गया था. ईस्ट जर्मनी वाज टुवर्ड्स द यूएसएसआर एंड वेस्ट जर्मनी वाज टुवर्ड्स यूएसए. दिस इज कॉल्ड कोल्ड वॉर. एक देश के टुकड़े हो गए और एक देश एक के पास चला गया, दूसरा देश दूसरे कंट्री के पास चला गया. दिस इज कॉल्ड कोल्ड वॉर. Now there is no Western, East Germany or West Germany. Now Germany is united. We call United Germany. Fine. So one Marshall Plan was there. US also created a new collective security structure under NATO. NATO is North Atlantic Treaty Organization. North Atlantic Treaty Organization, that is called NATO. Right. And under the Marshall Plan, the Organization of European Economic Cooperation, Organization of European Economic Cooperation, we call it OEEC, was established in 1948. OEEC was established in when? It was established in 1948. Underline your this one date. To channel aid to West European states, Western European countries को aid देने के लिए. It became a forum where the Western European states began to cooperate on trade and economic issues. देखिए यहाँ पे देखिए cooperation. एक दूसरे why USSR was disintegrated. क्यों टूटा USSR? कभी आपने ये सोचा इतनी बड़ा कॉन्टिनेंट है, ये क्यों टूट गया था? कई कंट्रीज थे, एक देश के 15 टुकड़े हो गए थे. 15 new states were there and they were republic states. 15 new countries became. एक देश के एक ही टुकड़े हो जाए ना तो आप संभाले नहीं. देखो इंडिया का एक टुकड़ा हुआ था, पाकिस्तान से एक और टुकड़ा हुआ बांग्लादेश. वही नहीं संभल रहा. और एक पूरा ईस्टर्न यूरोप, दैट इज USSR, इसके 15 न्यू रिपब्लिक्स बने, रिपब्लिक नए देश बने. क्यों? क्योंकि रशिया के USSR के साथ दूसरे देशों का कोई कोऑपरेशन नहीं था. देयर वाज नो कोऑपरेशन एट ऑल. ड्यू टू नॉन कोऑपरेशन, that particular country, USSR, was disintegrated. Economic cooperation is required. It is mandatory. We have to have economic cooperation. Why India is so much concerned about to give economic aid to other countries? Why Prime Minister always says that you are always welcome to open your market in India? Because we need foreign currencies. We need to establish economic, ourselves economically. India is a huge country. And, our main idea is to become it's a $5 trillion economy should be there. $5 trillion. So let's continue. The Second World War shattered many other assumptions and all. So it became a forum where the Western European states began to cooperate on trade. Here I am. Enlarge your screen. The Council of Europe, established in 1949, was another step forward in political cooperation. The process of economic integration, integration का मतलब जुड़ना, the process of economic integration of European capital countries proceeded step by step. Timeline of European integration leading to the formation of the European Economic Community in 1957. This process acquired a political dimension with the creation of the European Parliament. The collapse of Soviet bloc, I told you just a few minutes back, the collapse of Soviet bloc put Europe on a fast track. देखिए, एक देश की जब इकोनॉमी खत्म हो जाती है ना, दूसरा देश तरक्की करता है. एक देश की तरक्की, दूसरे देश की बर्बादी. Mind it, very clear. It's a cutthroat competition. Heart in heart, we want that our enemy should not be prosperous. कोई भी नहीं चाहता उसका दुश्मन जो हो इकोनॉमिकली साउंड हो, ताकि उसको ना दबाया जा सके. We want to suppress our enemy. That's why we want that our enemy should be economically backward. So this process acquired a political dimension with the creation of the European Parliament. The collapse of the Soviet bloc put Europe on a fast track and resulted in the establishment of European Union in 1992. यूरोपियन यूनियन का एस्टेब्लिशमेंट कब हुआ था? 1992 में हुआ. The foundation was thus laid for a common foreign security policy. अब इकोनॉमी इनकी जो यूरोपियन इकोनॉमी है, यूरो जिसको कहते हो आप, इट्स काउंटर पार्ट ऑफ डॉलर. ये यूरोप जो है अमेरिका को काउंटर करना चाहता है, isn't so? So if you have euro currency throughout Europe, you can go anywhere and you can exchange your currency in that particular country's currency, or it will continue with that currency also, no problem. If you have visa in one European country, it means you are able to you will to visit anywhere in Europe, not Eastern Europe. I'm saying only Western Europe. Anywhere in Europe, if you have visa of one country. Right. Thus, it laid a common foreign and security policy. It's a common foreign and security policy. That cooperation on justice and home affairs and the creation of single currency. And what is a single currency? I am telling you again and again, euro was developed as a single currency to counterpart dollar. डॉलर का वर्चस्व बहुत ज्यादा बढ़ गया था to counter dollar because America was thinking it's as a corporal. So अमेरिका के डॉलर को चैलेंज करने के लिए यूरो ने अपनी करेंसी को लॉन्च किया, यूरोप ने अपनी करेंसी को लॉन्च किया, and that Europe currency is called euro. Now dollar and euro and pound, they are all same the same path. To just economically they want to go ahead. The European Union has evolved over time from one economic union to an increasingly political one. The EU, European Union, has started to act more as a nation state. What do you mean a nation state? एक नेशन की तरह से वो काम कर. What do you mean nation? एक कंट्री के तरीके से, देश के तरीके से वो काम कर रहा है. Europe doesn't think that Europe has lot of countries. They used to think our currency should be one, and that is euro is there. A political unity should be there. Political unity is there. And let me tell you one thing, as a France, it came up as a very powerful country in European Union. While the attempts to have constitution for European Union have failed. अब उन्होंने क्या किया जब America ने European Union thought that one euro is there, common currency is there, then common constitution should be there. No, it was not accepted by many countries because they thought that it will be a direct attack on their individuality. Privacy के ऊपर अटैक होगा. Said no compromise on the constitution. Constitution will be separate, but yes, we will cooperate on the economic front. We will cooperate on the security front. We will cooperate in the political front, but not in on the behalf of the constitution. We will not go on that. So, while the attempts to have a constitution for the European Union have failed, it has its own flag, anthem, founding date, and currency. It has also some of a common foreign and security policy in its deals with other nations. The European Union has tried to expand areas of cooperation while acquiring new members, especially from the Eastwhile Soviet bloc. I told you the Soviet Union was disintegrated. अब कई countries हैं जो they want to go to NATO, they want to support European economy, they want to support dollar, they want to support euro, they want to have good relation, right? Political as well as economic relation, military relation with the western part, just like Ukraine. I told you in the introduction part, Ukraine is there. Ukraine wants to be the part of NATO, but Russia don't want it. You know what do you mean by Ukraine? Ukraine एक country का नाम है. यार थोड़ा बहुत ना पढ़ा करो. Ukraine is a very small country. What is the meaning of Ukraine? Mother of Russia. माँ को यूक्रेन कहते हैं वहाँ. So Russia is Vladimir Putin is very emotional about Ukraine. वो नहीं चाहते कि अमेरिका के he should go to America. That's why tussle is there. That's why the power of supremacy is there. Right. So European Union power and government of other countries, they want that many other Soviet bloc, they want to proceed towards European Union. The process has not proved easy for people, and many countries are not very enthusiastic in giving the EU powers that were exercised by the government of their own country. There are also reservations about including some new countries within the EU. Always, when there is a progress, there will be difficulty. It's a life process. जब आप तरक्की करना चाहते हैं ना तब कहीं ना कहीं डिफिकल्टीज आएंगी we have to face it. So in European Union also there are a lot of difficulties are there. So friends, this was the alternative centers of power which I have done with you along with you. It's revision part is going on. Tomorrow you are going to come, I hope. Come along with your book and we will discuss about your problem also. Till then, take care and have a nice time. Thank you.